In a world already oversaturated with high-tech options for streaming, gaming, and more, do we really need more to choose from? From insanely high prices to a marginal increase in image quality, here are 8 reasons you shouldn't buy an 8K TV yet. Influential trade group, the Consumer Technology Association, which runs the annual Consumer Electronics Show, established a definition in late 2019 for what constitutes an 8K Ultra HD display. In addition to the minimum of 33 million active pixels from the 7680 by 4320 resolution within a 16:9 viewable window, an 8K Ultra HD display must also include at least one HDMI input that supports 8K resolution at a bit depth of 10 bits, a frame rate of 60 frames per second, and HDR, or High Dynamic Range. Essentially, that means the TV must have at least one HDMI 2.1 input, or the new HDMI 2.1a updated input. Finally, an 8K Ultra HD display must be able to upscale SD, HD, and 4K video to 8K UHD resolution. Those minimum specs look pretty good. But aside from the resolution, they are all things that you can find in good mid-price range 4K TVs, like the Sony X90J. And because of the human perception of 8K resolution on most TV-sized screens, the big pixel numbers don't necessarily mean you should spend big dollars for an 8K TV.
Don't do it.
Scanning the prices at retailers for 8K TVs versus 4K TVs shows you that the 8K versions of a manufacturer's line cost roughly twice that of the 4K versions. For example, the top-of-the-line Samsung 85-inch Neo QLED 8K TV costs $6,499, while the top Samsung 85-inch Neo QLED 4K TV costs $3,299. You can save money by going with a different brand at a smaller screen size, but the price ratio is still roughly the same. For example, the 8K version of the 75-inch TCL 6 Series TV costs $2,699, while the 4K version of the 75-inch 6 Series costs $1,299. While tech-savvy consumers understand that the latest and greatest examples of a particular appliance or gadget come at a premium, they also expect that higher cost to come with an elevated experience commensurate with the elevated price. That, however, is not exactly the case with 8K TVs. While 8K is 4 times the pixel count of 4K, it certainly doesn't look 4 times better to the human eye. In fact, according to a 2020 double-blind study from numerous major companies and manufacturers, 8K video increases the perceived picture quality over 4K only minimally. For the study, more than 100 people watched live-action and animated clips created in native 8K, and the same clips downscaled to 4K on an LG 88-inch OLED 8K TV. The viewers' most common response was that the 4K and 8K clips looked the same, while the second most common response said that the 8K clips looked somewhat better, and a small number of responses claimed the 4K clips looked better. The average of all the responses judged that the 8K clips looked, quote, marginally slightly better than the 4K versions, and people with better than 20/20 vision sitting 5 feet from the TV, as opposed to sitting 9 feet away, scored the 8 clips just a small degree better than the remainder of the group. These survey results hammer home the point that despite having 4 times the pixel resolution of 4K displays, 8K TVs only look slightly better to some people and basically the same as 4K TVs to many people. And to notice the difference, it helps to have a large TV and to sit closer to the screen than the average of 7 feet away.
Don't sit so close to the TV. It'll make you cruel.
Why should people not have a better appreciation for the prodigious pixel count of 8K TVs? After all, digital and film imaging expert Dr. Roger Clark conservatively estimated that a hypothetical screen that encompassed the human field of vision would be 576 megapixels in size. 8K resolution has 33.17 megapixels. However, as Clark pointed out, the human eye does not capture images like a camera taking a snapshot. Only a tiny part of the eye, the fovea centralis, a small area about 0.3 millimeters in diameter and highly concentrated with photoreceptive cones, actually perceives with the maximum possible visual acuity. Your brain creates a pastiche for the rest of your field of visual perception from the eye saccades, involuntary and very fast twitch-like movements, and from the visual memory of what you have seen around you. So while the difference between 8K and 4K TVs is perceptible under the right conditions, the benefits of 8K video concentrate more on the production side for shooting in 8K and zooming in on smaller areas that will still have at least 4K resolution. Also, 8K has benefits for extremely large screens or projected images that most people will not experience in their homes unless it's under the guise of virtual reality. And in the case of VR, 8K will not be practical from a computational perspective in the short term. It's still hard to find a lot of 8K videos to watch on an 8K TV, as most streaming services don't have native 8K content yet. The most common destinations for 8K content are YouTube and Vimeo. But even there, not many of the content creators are uploading native 8K video yet.
Is there no one else?
It's hard to blame any YouTube content creators for not producing 8K videos when the prices of the well-regarded Red 8K professional cameras range from $24,000 to $50,000 for just the camera body. Besides that, not every video editing software can even import 8K video yet. So the mantle of native 8K content will have to be carried by professional production companies, and for the most part, they haven't picked it up yet, whether it's for TV, films, or video games. None of the household name streaming services have announced forthcoming support for 8K material, and 8K video games are scarce, to say the least. The Sony PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles both claim to handle 4K gaming at 120 frames per second, as long as the game and display are compatible with those specs. However, even high-end PC gaming GPUs strain to deliver 4K at a steady 120 frames per second for current big-budget games. So while the PS5 and Xbox Series X will both be able to output 8K at 60Hz upon a future update, their hardware is dubious for actually presenting native 8K at the maximum 60 frames per second rate. Performance may be more tenable should there be mid-generation console upgrades with hardware bumps, such as the PS5 Pro following in the footsteps of the PS4 Pro that enabled 4K gaming. Regardless, for consoles and PCs to fully utilize 8K output in games, the games themselves will have to be produced for native 8K output, and game developers are still catching up to the 4K format. Few games are available that were produced in 8K, and the 8K console games that do exist can't be played in 8K yet anyway, until Sony and Microsoft upgrade their firmware.
What are you waiting for, huh?
If most 8K output from next-gen game consoles is actually going to be upscaled 4K resolution, then the more effective technology for your TV to have is a 120Hz refresh rate and variable refresh rate, or VRR. A 4K TV with a 120Hz refresh rate will be able to accept the highest frame rate from next-gen game consoles. The previous generation consoles, as well as many current 4K TVs, are limited to 60 frames per second. However, the higher 120 frames per second capability allows fast action motion to appear natural and smooth. Additionally, if your TV also has VRR, it will automatically adapt its refresh rate to match what the game console sends it, greatly reducing the chances for image tear artifacts, which can result from locked constant refresh rates. Both 120 frames per second and VRR are unlocked with the HDMI 2.1 spec, but not every TV with HDMI 2.1 will automatically have 120 frames per second and VRR, so check on that to be sure. There are other TV performance considerations that can also make a bigger difference than going from 4K to 8K resolution. A TV's contrast ratio and black levels, color gamut, level of HDR technology, and brightness of the HDR all help determine the picture quality of the available pixels, rather than simply adding more pixels. There's more to figuring out the bandwidth required for 8K video than just its resolution. Unfortunately, YouTube, one of the main destinations for viewing 8K video right now, does not yet have a recommended sustained internet speed for watching 8K content. Estimates for how much download bandwidth speed you need to stream 8K go all the way to 100 megabits per second, which is quadruple the recommended rate for 4K. However, in the end, 8K streaming should ultimately be adequate with a lower bandwidth than quadruple the rate of 4K. Other factors like the refresh rate of the video and the efficiency of emerging video codecs also play a role in bandwidth, and can even reduce the amount needed. Many experts seem to have agreed on a 40 to 50 megabits per second range of internet download speed to stream 8K, which still presents a challenge for many viewers' ISP speeds or data limits. Given a large enough screen size, a minimum of 65 inches and preferably more, 8K TVs do present a moderate increase in the perceived picture quality. However, with the current high 8K TV prices, you'd be better off buying a well-outfitted 4K TV that includes HDMI 2.1, 120Hz refresh rate, and VRR capability. There's also very little native 8K material available as video or game content, so you'd be watching a lot of stuff upscaled from 4K or even from 1080p. More 8K content will come as 8K camera and other 8K infrastructure prices fall, and/or consumer demand for 8K content rises. Yet that demand will not skyrocket while 8K TVs are priced as high as they are. And so we face the classic chicken or egg dilemma when it comes to consumer demand for 8K TVs and 8K content creation. The only super invested parties in 8K TV at the moment are the TV manufacturers, and you owe them nothing. You don't need to be the overcharged catalyst for eventual 8K mainstream adoption. If you're feeling the urge to upgrade your TV in 2022, you'd do well to find the best 4K model you're willing to buy, including the high-end tech like the OLED display, 120Hz refresh rate, HDMI 2.1, and VRR. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Slash Gear videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.